Hello everybody, it's me. Been quite a long time, hasn't it? Some of it's laziness, some of it's just, me having... You know what? I'm not here to make excuses for my absence. I'm here to actually try and review something. I am here because I have some products that, while I did finish a review for it, I realized that I had filmed it and edited it after my first cat, the day after my first cat was put to sleep. As such, I realized of how poorly edited, poorly written, and poorly spoken everything was. I decided then to reshoot and re-edit the whole thing. That may seem like a bit much to you, but when you get down to it, I wanted to make sure this thing was easy to understand, as well as easy to see. And as you can tell from the title of this video, I'm not reviewing another collector's edition. I'd like to, but I figured I'd take a break from that and focus on something that I believe would actually be relevant and interesting. Today, I'm going to talk about Mass Effect action figures. I should more than likely point out that this is actually just one figure out of an entire series of figures. And what I mean by series is that I should more accurately say wave. A wave of figures in a particular line. While these are figures from Mass Effect with the Mass Effect 3 logo on them, I should clarify that the characters of the first series of action figures come from all across the Mass Effect universe. I should say franchise. We'll be looking at all 4 figures of the first series, but before we do, I figured I should just take a look at each one individually and see what you have at first. Anyway, one at a time. The first figure I'd like to show you is the one character that you'll ever play as in its story mode, Commander Shepard himself. Let's quickly zoom out for a little bit, and I will bring him up to the camera. You can see his face here, with not very bad molding at all. I mean, this is the default appearance of Commander Shepard on the box art for every Mass Effect thing in existence. So this is more than likely his default appearance, even though he doesn't have an actual name. I should note that yes, this is the male equivalent of version of Commander Shepard, but I have yet to see a female Shepard figure in any series. So if there is one in existence, I don't know about it yet. I'll try to get on that. But as you can see, let's go through its visual detailing first. We've got some nice detailing here on his chest, a scar on his face. The N7 logo, very nicely painted onto his chest. We also have some nice molding on his backside, some nice blue lights here, a nice pattern along this backside down to his ass. I probably should have avoided saying that. And his signature red stripe and white stripe single sleeve thing. What was the point of that? I wonder what the point of that whole appearance was. It's stylish, but in-universe, what's the practicality to it? Maybe I'm overthinking something involving space ninjas. Anyway, for some very nice molding on the inside of his legs for his suit. Some very nice some nice paint to see these paint marks here? These are meant to look like scratches, and I must say that as a visual touch, that's very nice. Now, this may be an action figure, but for the life of me, this guy was a pain in the ass to move. He has very little, he has very little articulation in his left arm. I'll admit, his left arm does rotate like that a full 180 degrees. So does his head. Even his torso has a nice bit of articulation, but as I'll show you why soon, you'll have a hard-pressed time being able to get this guy to stand in very many poses. By the way, that shoulder pad has a very constant tendency to fly off. At least for me. I don't know if it's common with the line or if it's mine in particular. Your mileage may vary, and if it is, in fact, common with every figure like this, post a comment to let me know, or private message me, and I'll add it as an annotation to this video, just to make sure everybody's informed. That said, we are able, now that the pad is off, we do at least get to see some nice webbing detailing for his shoulder. And I just broke it. So much for me getting to show you the full range of motion, and as you can see, it's not a simple bowl joint. It was something glued in there. I don't even think I could properly put it back. Ugh. This is what I get for trying to show you what this thing's capable of. This is one of the reasons why I'm sometimes afraid of reviewing action figures. I fear that if something flies off, I may not be able to put it back on. But let's move on to the rest of him. His ankles do have a nice bit of articulation. Both of them. Well, yeah, those are his ankles. Let's look at his knees. I'm actually afraid to go any farther than that. I literally am. Good God, this was a shoddy figure. Well, shoddy construction of the figure aside, he does come with some accessories. A soft rubber space helmet for when you want to put it on his head, and what I believe is the M8 assault rifle. Well, let's look at the assault rifle's detailing. Well, it's actually very well painted. It does not collapse like you see in the games, but admittedly, it does look close to the part. I've seen life-size replicas that could go for almost $800 or $400 and perhaps even $1,000. I don't plan on reviewing those anytime soon because I can't afford those. I should also like to point out that each figure in the series comes with a stand for you to stand them on. As you can see, that Shepard is broken. I'm not going to be posing him anytime soon. Starting to wonder if I should even keep him after this. I was planning on selling this and using the proceeds to buy other stuff, but doubt that's going to happen now. So let me quickly find a means of transitioning to. Let me just see if I can transition to our next figure, and I will show you another one. Be back momentarily. The next figure I'd like to show you is Grunt from Mass Effect 2. Now, let's just quickly take a look at him. I'm not going to take any of his parts off because his shotgun is a pain in the ass to try and put in his hand. I should note that each hand has wrist articulation that can rotate 180 degrees like this, but can't really move forward and backward like my hand can. His arms do rotate. They do rotate like this, but unfortunately, his shoulder pads and the bulk of his arms prevent him from moving very much. He has. What kind of shotgun is that? Let me just see if I can find a number on it. Well, I don't know what shotgun that is. It might be an M3. Somebody post a comment if I'm right or wrong, just to let me know, and I'll make an annotation. His feet rotate full 180 degrees like this. I'm honestly afraid to try and move him in another direction. I honestly am. After you just saw Commander Shepard after you saw Commander Shepard break, I feel like if I did anything with this guy, it might cause more problems. Then again, I did buy these figures 4 months ago. Maybe they just were made to be obsolete, or to stay in one position on your shelf. I don't know. Let's get another figure, shall we? This has just made me very... Wait, before we do... I'm just going to leave the gun there. Okay, his legs can go this far. He has knee joints, but good luck making anything happen with them. They don't bend very far, and even so, if you do bend him, chances are he'll just fall down. Oh God, these are depressing. Let's get another figure. The next figure in the first series of Mass Effect action figures is Thane. I forget his last name, but if you're like me in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, you're probably just going to call this guy the Lizard Ninja. Let's face it, that's what this guy is. Up close, you can tell... he's got enough... even he has a full 180-degree articulation for his neck. Good luck trying to move those shoulders, because they are permanently stuck in that slouched handgun holding position. Here we have what looks like a heavy handgun of some kind, maybe a Predator pistol? But sometimes he's barely able to hold this. I'm lucky I'm able to get it standing as well as it is. You can see that he looks good. In fact, so did Rex. And he does have bendable knees, but they bend so they don't bend very far. They don't bend very far at all, and I'm worried that if you ever try to put him in a position that you think would look cool that he wouldn't normally pull off, it'll just break. I mean, I also like the detailing in his coat. His face is well detailed, I will admit. He does look good, but in terms of actually getting him to do stuff, it just doesn't work out very well. Let me get us the final figure in this line. Yeah. The final figure is Tali, that I'm here to show you. As you could tell, she is missing the lower half of her right leg. I found her in my room 4 months after buying her, only to have her leg break off at the knee. Wonderful craftsmanship there. Doesn't even last a third of a year. Here I am getting depressed again, but she still has one good leg, for now. Let's see what we can do. Well, let's just see what we can do with her. She comes with, I believe is the M27 shotgun. I say what I believe is because on some figures I've actually seen it spelled as 72M. I do like the fact that they at least attempted to do something with her Omni tool, her being a tech specialist. I do like her helmet here. I don't know if it has a full 180 degrees of articulation, but to be fair, it would probably be hindered a lot by her hood, which is a piece of soft plastic or rubber glued to her suit. Here we have her other good knee. I'm not picking that up. Her wrists do rotate a full 180 degrees, so does the arm with the Omni tool. And the cat's in the background. Hello, kitty. But good luck getting it to actually do anything, getting those joints to do anything useful. It is so hard. You know, these figures have put me in such a bad mood, I'm not even going to try to edit her out of the video. I mean, look at it. How can you not love that kitty? But, there's articulation up here in her torso, which does rotate a full 180 degrees, which I'll admit is nice. She has a... this actually goes around all the way. That's surprisingly good. Realistically, close to 90-degree articulation in the elbows, which is nice. Did she ever use that combat knife in the series? In video game or transmedia form? For a moment it looked like her foot had articulation, but I'm too scared to even try to do anything with that because look at her, doesn't have one of her legs. And before you ask, it's not a ball joint. It's a very crappy peg. Here's what the inside of her knee looks like. Isn't that wonderful craftsmanship? And here is her shotgun. It is very nicely detailed. Though I am too upset to do anything else with them because, again, the craftsmanship here has put me in a foul mood. There you have it, folks. The first series of Mass Effect 3 action figures. What do I think? I think they suck. I'll admit, the fact that their limbs fell off are probably my fault. But I bought these 4 months ago. the day after my first cat was put to sleep. So who knows how long they were on the shelf in the store, who knows how well they were made overall. If one of you would be willing to tell me in the comments below whether or not it's a universal problem with their joints, please let me know. Because this did, in fact, taint my opinion of the quality of these figures. And even if their limbs were intact, the articulation on them is so poor for something called an action figure, you can barely pose them. When I think of an action figure, I think of something that you can play with and put in all different kinds of poses, almost like a more recent Power Rangers figure. What I'm trying to make is, I don't like these figures, and I just don't think they're worth $18 US. But I will be fair, though. Those are not all you get with the figures. Each figure comes with a download card for Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. And I've used every one of these, so I don't need to worry about any form of piracy. Or you guys getting the code, something that I've already downloaded. The point is, don't try to capture the screenshot of these download codes because they've already been used. In fact, the way you use them is a little complicated. You have to go to BioWare's website, not Electronic Arts. And then you have to sign up have a BioWare account, then you have to put in the code so you can tell them what console you'd like the content for. You only get 4 items for a pack that has 4 items for the multiplayer. For me, I got 2 disposable items that were like ammo and health, a disposable suit upgrade, and a weapon or weapon upgrade. Ironically, most of them are shotguns. One could say that it was a reward for investing into a Mass Effect product. Some could say it's a way of enticing you to buy something that's crap. For me, I'd say it's something to entice you to buy something that sucks. And because these figures were $18 US a piece, I'm afraid I just can't recommend these particular figures, which is sad because they do look relatively good. I mean, they don't lack the finer detailings of something you'd expect to see from a $50 figure, but to be fair, for something you could just display on your shelf, they're not bad. But for an action figure? For something that you play with? They're bad! I'll admit, like I said before, the broken limbs are probably my fault. They're more likely to be my fault. But I wanted to point them out to you just in case they were a universal problem. In that regard, I just want to make it clear that I do not recommend these products. If you do wish to buy them, be my guest. I found mine at a local, not at a hobby shop, but like a special interest comic geek stuff shop that also sold anime and manga. I also believe you can find them online at places like ThinkGeek.com, BigBadToyStore.com. Prices may vary, but I paid $18 US for these, and I regret it a lot. I do not recommend these products at all. Until then, I am a gamer and a dork, and I'm starting to regret ever picking that username. Oh well. Maybe there's a way I can change it. Either way, till my next review comes out, I'll see you guys later. Bye now!